So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. In today's video, we are going to be analyzing one last person. Not the suspect as declared by the police, but one condemned by the panel of social media judges and jury. We will be discussing today social media's prime suspects, MOHBAD's wife, Wumi. When MOHBAD was alive, we had no inkling that he was married, let alone had a son. A few people knew of his girlfriend, who he had been in a long-time relationship with. Yes, we had seen her wrestle NDLEA officials when they came to arrest MOHBAD. But we were not aware that they had held a secret wedding, as Wumi herself revealed. Wumi took to social media, Insta stories, shortly after her husband passed to express her pains on the passing of her husband. A part of her post read, "This nigger struggled till death. Too many pains, threatening. He has always lived with fears. Continuous fights everywhere he goes to. He has never been happy for a whole day. He was called a junkie, a mad person, mental issues, so the public would have another view about him. He's dead. At least you all won. Take your trophy. You all made me a widow at 24 years. Nothing makes him happy no more. Even after seeing his baby, he became more worried. He's now a family man. He doesn't want anything to happen to us. I was supposed to collect my baby's passport yesterday, so we could process our traveling. He always says to me, 'Wumi, please go for my baby's sake. I wouldn't want these people to harm you and him. It will break me. Just go. Let me face them myself. Ileri Oluwa, rest in peace. You really need that peace.'" She went ahead to write a couple of other things, but we will leave that out as this already captures what we need to address. Now, there is a reason that I read Wumi's statement, because shortly after Wumi gave this impression to the world, we began to see several videos and pictures and testimony and accounts of how MOHBAD was bullied, battered, tortured, and oppressed by SAMLARRY, who many people believe was working under the orders or in collaboration of Naira Marley, his former record label boss. And it was popular belief that Naira Marley and SAMLARRY conspired to make MOHBAD's life unbearable because he chose to leave the record label. That is the word on the streets. So it seemed like Wumi's account was largely corroborated by the many evidences that began to pour in. It seemed like he passed because of the suffering and the abuse and the problem and trauma that he had suffered. So a lot of sympathy began pouring in for Wumi, with many people, celebrities, public figures, everyone contributing resources in favor of their child, Liam, who was only 5 months old when MOHBAD passed. But how Wumi momentarily went from a young widow who was attracting sympathy and empathy from everyone to social media's prime suspect in the death of her husband was born due to a combination of these reasons. First, a voice note purportedly between MOHBAD and Wumi made it out to the internet, and in that voice note, MOHBAD was very offended, very upset. A good chunk of it was said in Yoruba, their native dialect. And it is said that in that voice note, he said that if anything happens to him, Wumi is responsible. 2. Now that the police have officially addressed the media, and they have revealed that the immediate cause of MOHBAD's death was a reaction, a trigger from the injections an unqualified nurse administered to him at home. A lot of people fingered it as mischievous of Wumi to have stayed silent about the immediate circumstances surrounding her husband's death, lamenting on social media about him being attacked and bullied and lied against and beaten, and leaving out the core of the issue. It is their belief that she painted the situation a little bit differently what actually happened shortly before his demise. Thirdly, people have queried and faulted her for allowing an unqualified nurse to treat her husband instead of taking him to a proper medical facility or hospital. Come on, they could afford it. They had the means. So they wondered why she chose to let MOHBAD receive treatment at home. Fourthly, people are curious as to why Wumi has chosen to remain silent in the eyes of these many accusations that are being heaped on her on a daily. They believe that if she was innocent, she should come out. In fact, she should long have come out and defend herself and state her own part of the story, of the incidents that led to the fight, of what happened when she was in the car and MOHBAD's friend was crying, of the hasty burial, of the supposed injection administered to MOHBAD. They believe that she has so much to say. She has so much defending to do. Why is she quiet? They have interpreted her silence as an admission of guilt. 5. People have drawn all sorts of assumptions about the cause of that altercation that she had with MOHBAD that eventually led to a fight between him and his best friend. Some have labeled it as a result of her infidelity. So many theories have come out about the cause of that fight, with some even saying that she may have conspired with Prime Boy to trigger MOHBAD to a fight so as to hit him with juju. And lastly, the biggest elephant, not just an elephant, the biggest dinosaur in the room. People have hinged their belief on Wumi not just being a prime suspect, but that person responsible for MOHBAD's death. From a certain blog, who came up with the story that Wumi and SAMLARRY were involved in a sexual relationship, and they both conspired to kill MOHBAD. They went as far as pushing the narrative that Liam, MOHBAD's son, was not his child, but a product of the adultery between Wumi and MOHBAD's aggressor, SAMLARRY. With all these aforementioned, people consider Wumi the prime suspect in her husband's death and wondered why the police did not list her as a suspect when they granted that press briefing. Now let us discuss all the points raised and the various views that have now emerged, either supporting these claims or refuting it. First, on the issue of Liam being SAMLARRY's child, people desirous of truth and facts, not rumors and social media trends, have searched everywhere for evidence to support that claim, and they have found none. It was even rumored that there was a DNA test conducted in Dubai, in a hospital in Dubai, that showed that the child belongs to SAMLARRY. Some people even started inferring some resemblance between the child and SAMLARRY. But these set of people who are thirsty and hungry and dying for facts are still yet to come across any documents, any pictures, any statement, anything at all to support that assumption. All that was found was unconfirmed words of mouth with no concrete evidence or report supporting it. But because that fed an already existing narrative, that fed a convenient line of thoughts, so many people ran along with it without bothering for any confirmation. So please, in the interest of the many people watching, if anyone has any concrete evidence, and when I say evidence, I mean something in the likes of a document, the DNA test results showing that paternity of Liam belongs to SAMLARRY and not just a report from a blog. Please be kind to refer us to that document so we can all peruse it, be certain of it, and take note. It will be important to add here that it seems like Wumi has eventually bowed to the pressure of conducting a DNA test on her child. Michael Charles, aka OGB Recent, a very close friend of the late MOHBAD, has now taken to Twitter to announce, and I quote, "DNA test confirms MOHBAD is the father of his son." His statement was corroborated by a number of MOHBAD's friends. It is quite interesting to note that since this news broke out, the very many people swearing to the striking resemblance that Liam supposedly shares with SAMLARRY and cussing out Wumi for whoring with her husband's enemy have now gone silent on the issue of Liam's paternity. Another issue that was raised is why Wumi chose to keep quiet. Why the silence, Wumi? It is common practice in Nigeria for people suspected to have committed a crime to take to social media to state their sides of the story or even get interviewed by members of the press. It is popular, we would admit. But many lawyers understand the detriments of doing that and will usually advise their clients to stay silent. And that is why in developed countries, we never see any person who has been accused or suspected to have committed a crime, let alone a crime as severe as murder or manslaughter, take to the press or social media to give their defense. They always exercise their right of silence. But a lot of people do not believe that that is the best option for Wumi to adopt. They consider her silence implicating as though she has something to hide. According to people in this camp, it is in Wumi's best interest to come out, address these allegations. Tell us what happened on the day that your husband died. Staying silent does you no good. Defend yourself. Tell us the truth. Well, Wumi's sister made a post a few days ago when Liam turned 6 months. She had this to say. "Liam is 6 months old today. May your soul be at rest and find peace with the Creator. Wife, they mourn, they take care of Liam, and family, they drag properties low-key, but they come online, they drag wife." Thank you everyone for the support. Wumi will address the public at the appropriate time. Please keep her and Liam in your prayers. Well, just as I mentioned, legally speaking, she cannot be compelled to dispel rumors about her or address the public. She is within her rights to choose not to speak. But it is still interesting to know that she will address the public as confirmed by her sister. And if she decides to, I for one am honestly looking forward to hear what she has to say, especially regarding that day that her husband passed. So what do you think, guys? What do you think of Wumi choosing silence over defense, especially in the heat of these piling, damaging accusations? Do you think that it is better if she speaks up and says her truth? Or do you believe that she should not break a sweat? She should stay low, mourn her late husband, take care of her new baby, as people will believe whatever they want to believe anyways, whether or not she chooses to speak. Do let me know what you think about Wumi's silence down in the comment section. On the question on why Wumi did not take her husband to the hospital but let him remain at home injured, what does the law have to say about that? If it can be shown that MOHBAD was within full consciousness and she did everything within her control and influence to convince him to go to the hospital and he adamantly refused. If it can be shown that he insisted that he was fine, he just needed to rest and all of that, she may not be held account. But if the evidence shows otherwise, that Mohbad was not in a state to help himself, and she either negligently or maliciously chose not to seek proper medical care for him, then she may bear some liability. That liability, however, may not be close to murder, except there are other evidences that come up, not loose, purely circumstantial, far-fetched evidences. I mean, if a strong direct link tying her to Mohbad's passing comes up, only then could she face the possibility of the offense of murder or manslaughter. On why the police did not list her as a suspect, despite almost everybody on social media have stamped her the prime suspect. Let us read this joint statement by actresses and activists Iyabo Ojo and Tonto DK. It says, updates on Mohbad's case. The case has been transferred to the DPP, that's the Director of Public Prosecution. While the police say they are still waiting for the toxicology results, Mohbad remains have not yet been released. I am here wondering why it's taken almost a month to get the autopsy reports, but we'll address that in another video. Also, Mohbad's wife has been interrogated 3 times, at least 3 times, to the best of my knowledge. 2 out of the 3 times was the day you all saw Mohbad's dad televised by the police, in which they addressed the public on Mohbad's case. Later that same day, Mohbad's dad, mom and wife were sent to Panti for interrogation and to write their statements. Another day Mohbad's wife was interrogated was the 21st of September 2023. So according to Tonto DK and Iyabo Ojo, Wumi has been invited by the police and interrogated a minimum, not maximum, of 3 times within the space of 3 weeks. And after these 3 drillings, these 3 interrogations, the police still did not find sufficient ground, compelling reason to detain her or to declare her as a suspect. You see, it is either we open our ears and our brains to knowledge or languish in our personal belief of how we think the law works, then go around block to block insulting people that tell you the truth. The basis for profiling someone as a suspect is not on social media's popular opinion. It is not based on the most compelling story going viral on Instagram or Twitter or YouTube. People want to hear what they want to hear. I will be in the good books of so many people if I run along the popular opinion and come here to tell you how Wumi killed Mohbad. Oh, so many people be like, oh, Neza, you are so good. You are the best. But I'm not interested in fickle praises. I am interested in telling you the facts and what the law says, because that is the only thing that would prevail in the courts. Declaring somebody a suspect in a murder or manslaughter case or any criminal proceeding at all is based on tangible evidence. Go to Google and download the law called the Evidence Act. There is a strict law guiding the evidences that can be presented in court and how they can be presented. Mere suspicion with no facts backing it up will be flung out of any court's window. Only verifiable evidence that can be substantiated in the court of law is admissible. That is the only ground. So regardless of our respective sentiments and social media judgments, the police, as at today, I do not know the path that this case will take tomorrow, but as at today that I speak to you, the police do not consider Wumi complicit in the deaths of her husband. Thus, they have not declared her the suspect, neither has she been arrested or detained. They have done the right thing by inviting her for interrogation and questioning. But for now, there is nothing linking her to the direct cause of her husband's demise. As I mentioned in my last video, investigations are an ongoing process. A dead end today may be that perfect peace tomorrow to unraveling the mystery of a crime. So if in the course of the police's investigation, Wumi is fingered as being a participant in her husband's demise, you can be sure that I will bring all of that to your notice. Do well to drop all your opinion and feedback down in the comment section. So guys, we have come to the end of today's video. If you're new here or if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on your bell notifications, give this video a big thumbs up if you've learned something, and drop all your feelings, whether for or against, down in the comment section. Stay glued because we have so much more coming your way. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezavale. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye.